Hello, and welcome back to Unexplained Possibilities Reviews Psychic Defense. So, as you can tell, I'm doing things a little bit differently. Normally, when I do a review, I'll read or watch something several times over, type out my thoughts, do the recording, edit, blah, 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 yakety smackety. However, this time, I just wasn't able to do it. You see, when I make content for the channel, whether it be a review, a podcast, Too Crazy to Believe, whatever it may be, I do it because it's fun. I enjoy it. I have a laugh or two. And if I'm having fun, it'll translate over to the viewer, the audience, whoever's watching will have fun with me and be entertained. I, I couldn't do it with this book. Reading this was not fun. Reviewing it is not fun. Like trying to put my words out on the computer was not fun. And for the first time doing Unexplained Possibilities, this actually felt like a job. And that's something that I never want to feel with anything to do with this channel because this is my hobby, this is my side thing. I enjoy talking about the paranormal, the supernatural, occult, magic, all that stuff. I enjoy it. I'm very fortunate that I get to speak to people of various backgrounds who are professionals in their craft, in their field. And yet, the psychic defense, sorry for the reflection of the light, it's just, ugh. It really drained me. It's not necessarily because it's a difficult read with big words and phrases, all that. No, it's draining because it's just not good. And I'm rehashing things that I've said before with demons and familiars and demon dealer. And it's just not fun. I don't want to be a mean prick and pick on Melinda and all that. That's not me. I don't like stuff like that. She makes it easy, but I don't like things like that. I don't like rehashing stuff over and over and over. And that is exactly what I'm doing with psychic defense. Like this can be summed up very easily for those of you who don't want a 20, 30-minute long video, however long it will be. The book isn't good. It's draining. It has some information in it that's viable. The problem is, I question if that information actually comes from Melinda because it doesn't sound like her. It doesn't sound like her at all. It almost feels like she copied and pasted, or she read something, then jotted down, switched some words around, whatever. And it's very, very fear mongering. It's very black and white, not in between my way or the highway. And I don't think anyone would actually have any type of defense from this. I think the way it's structured, the way she tells stuff, it's very one sided and it will cause more harm than good because it's not allowing the person to explore both ends of the spectrum. And going back to, I think she just copied and pasted or whatever. I have a very good reason for saying that. So you might recall in the first part of the review, I mentioned transmutation. And I said, oh, well, more on that later. Well, here's the later. She spelled transmute wrong throughout the entire book. She put a space where it shouldn't be a space. So it's almost like saying a literal transmute. It's a person who's trans and they're mute. It's no space in there. It's one word. But as I was reading, I came across a couple of things where it's spelt right. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it's a typo. And she just didn't catch it in the other stuff. She just copied, whatever. But then after those passages, I see transmute spelled incorrectly again. And then that got my spider senses tingling. It's like, okay, something's wrong here. How do you spell it wrong before this many times? Then you get it right, and then you spell it wrong again. And it really got me thinking, like, did she copy this? Is this actually her words? And this then takes me to two particular very big things. And I'm going to go there for you real quick. So we have the Dybbuk box and the Leviathan Cross. And I bring these up because this is the best proof that I have for you that she didn't use her own words. She's not talking from experience here, at least in my opinion. She isn't. There's something wrong and off here. So here we go. A Dybbuk box or Dybbuk box is a wine cabinet or other kinds of chests claimed to be haunted by a Dybbuk spirit. In Jewish mythology, a Dybbuk is possessing an evil spirit believed to be the dislocated soul of a dead person. It supposedly leaves the host body once it has successfully fulfilled its goal, sometimes after being exorcised. A Dybbuk box is connected with Jewish folklore, where a dark spirit is said to take over the bodies of living people and use them for evil. Legend has it a Dybbuk is trapped inside the box to prevent harm to the living. Once the box has been opened or tampered with in any way, the evil spirit will violently haunt and attack the living. Okay, so that's whatever. That's fine. It's like, oh, wow, I didn't know this. You caught my interest. This is where things start to go a little downhill. Zach Bagans, the host and lead paranormal investigator of Ghost Adventures, had purchased a Dybbuk box from a man named Jason Haxton and placed it on display at the Haunted Museum that he owns and runs. Okay, so this was a live special. I actually saw this. Let's keep going. Zach has highly reported, and those who have been around the Dybbuk to have undergone severe paranormal terror. Experiences like seeing dark shadow figures, hearing growls, unexplained sounds, light flickering, objects moving to glass, smashing without scientific explanation. In addition, there have been reports of Zach's museum visitors leaving with horror stories of their own. Security cameras displayed throughout the museum have caught glimpses of dark, transparent figures moving around the location to spot the visitors' unexpected preternatural attacks, leaving them to flee the museum in fear for their lives. Again, also very interesting, and this is just a setup for what's to come, guys. So, I hope you like drama, intrigue. Dybbuk boxes became a horror trend by influencers, paranormal investigators, and those searching for a twisted adrenaline rush. There are disturbing YouTube videos of influencers teaching how to create a Dybbuk box, or excuse me, create a Dybbuk. The more Dybbuk boxes are made, the more evil can break loose on Earth. As every religion has its version of good, so are its expressions of evil. It's not a toy, it's through my understanding from my spirit guides that Dybbuk boxes work like a genie in a bottle. Only instead of getting three wishes, you get cursed. Dybbuk spirits are known to curse those who mess with them in any way, thus have learned to put people in danger to even an early grave. My advice would be to avoid a Dybbuk at all costs. If you ever find yourself in the presence of one, remain respectful and withhold from insulting the Dybbuk in any fashion. Making fun of a Dybbuk spirit is no laughing matter. All right, so you heard that. Allegedly, her guides told her what was up and this and that. Now, curiously, I decided to research Dybbuk boxes because I want to have my mess on point. And I see this from Wikipedia. And I'm going to skip a couple of things only because I'm going to circle back to it. Trust me, it's nothing big. Well, actually, it is big, but you'll see in a second why. So, this is what Wikipedia says. And remember what I just read. The Dybbuk box, or Dybbuk box, is an antique wine cabinet claimed to be haunted by a Dybbuk, a concept from Judaism. Mind you, this is just the first couple of sentences here. And I was like, oh, that reads strangely familiar to what's in the book. And then I click on Dybbuk itself, and this is what it says here at just the very beginning. In Jewish mythology, a Dybbuk is a malicious possessing spirit believed to be the dislocated soul of a dead person. It supposedly leaves the host body once it has accomplished its goal, sometimes after being exorcised. Well, now that's odd because what does it say here? A Dybbuk or Dybbuk box is a wine cabinet or other kinds of chests claimed to be haunted by a Dybbuk spirit. In Jewish mythology, a Dybbuk is a possessing evil spirit believed to be the dislocated soul of a dead person. It supposedly leaves the host body once it has successfully fulfilled its goal, sometimes after being exorcised. Is that plagiarism, Linda? Wait, she plagiarized this. What happened to getting it from your spirit guides? And now this is where we come back to some of the stuff that I skipped from the first part of this. And this is also, this tells me everything I need to know about Melinda and her pushing an agenda. The Dybbuk box, or I know you guys are getting tired of this, but oh well. The Dybbuk box or Dybbuk box is a paranormal host consisting of an antique wine cabinet claimed to be haunted by a Dybbuk, a concept from Judaism. The box gained notoriety when it was auctioned off on eBay by owner Kevin Manis, who created a story featuring Jewish Holocaust survivors and paranormal claims as part of his eBay item description. Manis' story was the inspiration for the 2012 horror film The Possession. In 2021, Manis told Input magazine that the Dybbuk box story was entirely fictional. So now let's go back here. It's through my understanding from my spirit guides that Dybbuk boxes work like a genie in a bottle. Only instead of getting three wishes, you get cursed. Dybbuk spirits are known to curse those who mess with them in any way, thus have learned to put people in danger to even an early grave. That's pretty freaking good for a hoax, I tell you what. Like, for real? Uh, I don't. Where do you go with this? This is intentionally misleading. I what? She went to Wikipedia, got this mess, and then jotted it down and put it in her book. And now she's claiming her spirit guides warned her of it. Like, you're such a filthy liar. I mean, I'm not trying to get on your case. Like I said, I don't like being mean, but this is just misleading. It's pushing an agenda of evil. It's evil, and I know the truth. It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. And here's at the bottom of the Wikipedia page, which chances are I'll take screenshots of this to actually show you guys. In 2021, Mannix admitted to writer Charles Moss that the box was his own creation. I am a creative writer. The Dybbuk box is a story that I created, and the Dybbuk box story has done exactly what I intended it to do when I posted it 20 years ago, which is to become an interactive horror story in real time. And that, he added, new elements to the Dybbuk box story over the years to help evolve it, keep it relevant and interesting. Well, freaking Mr. Manish, job well done. You fooled the super psychic here. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous that she took pieces of something from Wikipedia of all places and ran with it. And will probably double down on it. You know, like whether you like her, hate her, whatever, you have to question why. You know, you have to question this mess. It's so ridiculous. And here's the other piece. So going to where are we going? Leviathans. The Leviathan Cross. The sign of Leviathan is sometimes referred to as the cross of Satan, which means Satan's cross. The double cross symbolizes protection and balance between persons. The infinity symbol at the bottom underlines the infinite nature and commonly represents the eternal universe. This is the ideology in the Church of Satan and what the followers believe. However, Leviathan is also a devil spirit capable of the worst kind of affliction. Therefore, one will often catch sight of this cross as a tattoo on jewelry, posters, and other levels of outward expression. So, I decide to go and research the Leviathan Cross because, again, after seeing that transmute thing, the alarms are going off. And it takes me to the Symbolism Wiki. And remember what I literally just read? Let's see what it says here. The Leviathan Cross is sometimes referred to the cross of Satan, which means the Satan's cross. Depicted on the bottom is an infinity sign, and above is a double cross. Now, this is interesting because there's a part that she left out from her plagiarism. The double cross symbolizes protection and balance between persons. Huh, why'd you leave that out? The infinity sign underlines the constant and infinite nature and most likely symbolizes the eternal universe. This may have been used by Anton LaVey in the Satanic Bible too as a mockery of the cross to show that humans are their own centrum of balance and truth. This is what the ideology of Anton LaVey and the followers of the Church of Satan believe, and this is what the symbol represents in this association. But according to Melinda, it's evil. Yeah, Leviathan's a devil spirit. Oh my God, you're a moron. Like like I said, guys, this isn't fun for me. I don't like this one bit. I don't even know how much editing I'm going to do. You might just get the raw full thing here. But this is just it's not even her own words. She's literally copying us and taking out specific things so she can pass her agenda. This is fear mongering. Like, you have to question this, even if you like her. Like, man, like who you like, follow who you follow, believe in what you believe in, but at the very least, question. Bring up these questions where it's like, hey, why is this here and here? Why did you leave this out? I gotta say, this this freaking book is the first time I truly felt Melinda was being intentionally misleading and intentionally trying to pass off an agenda. You know, she's knowingly doing this. These two books here, these no, I mean they're not good books and filled with nonsense, especially Demon Dealer. But it felt like something sincere. This mess doesn't feel sincere. It doesn't feel sincere at all. It feels like, and I'm a broken record. It feels like fear mongering. It feels like everything that I don't believe in is evil, and I'm the super psychic. I know better, although I'm not a narcissist. And she has no idea what she's talking about. And this brings me to the next point. She takes everything so freaking literally. I have never encountered another occultist or psychic or whatever you want to be called who takes things literally like this. She does not understand symbolism. She doesn't understand figure of speech, such as the dual souls theory, like people having more than one soul in various uh, in various cultures and religions, there is a belief that the body has more than one soul, but they all say the same thing, that there is ultimately a spiritual soul, and the other souls perish with the physical body, whereas the spiritual soul goes to wherever the next life is, whatever that may be. They're not saying, like, when you pass away, you have six souls and they're all rising up and flying wherever. They're just saying that when you're living, we have these souls and they have a part to play. It might connect us with the planet. It might connect us with each other. I, and she just doesn't understand that. And it's crazy to me that she's writing these books trying to pass off this knowledge that she doesn't understand or she takes too literally. Like, the comprehension is just so embarrassingly low. I question if she actually finished high school, because it's just, this is impossible. It's literally impossible to be oh, this so enlightened, but to be so dumb. And that's all I can really. That's the only way I can really put it. I mean, I'm flabbergasted. You know, I just can't. Like, I tried to give her a chance. I tried to give this book a chance, and I just can't, because then we have stupid mess like world renowned psychic medium, witch, and astral exorcist. To be world renowned, people in every single freaking country, or almost every country, has to actually know who you are. I can probably show a picture of her, and most people would not have any idea who she is. And then I could probably show a picture of Patty Negri, and most people will still probably not know who she is. But I guarantee more people will know Patty Negri than freaking Melinda Kay Lyons. And all her titles, she's not a witch at all. No, I'm sorry. You're not a witch. Like, there's nothing in here that tells me you're a witch. Just misinformation and being scared of your shadow. Fear mongering. The astral exorcist. This is one of those things where, again, we have to question, why is it she is the only person to have ever used the phrase astral exorcist? Why is it she is the only person ever to somehow exorcise demons without ever leaving her home, without meeting the person, without actually understanding what the heck is going on? She's not a demonologist. The idiot doesn't even know what demonologist means. She's not this now proclaiming to be a rainbow star seed. So now the aliens are involved. And the thing is, there is no rainbow star seed. She's mixing up two different terminologies. So, yes, there are star seeds, which for the most part, and just to keep it as simple as possible, are spirits not of this world that's having a human life, a human experience, but their soul is of alien origin. Now, the indigo child, the crystal child, and the rainbow child, something completely different, has to do with psychic ability. I believe the coin was termed like maybe in the 1970s. The point is, she wouldn't be a rainbow. A rainbow would be the generation after her. Her daughter would be considered a rainbow child. Melinda would be a crystal child if she were to believe with her alleged psychic ability and powers, blah, 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 which I don't believe at all. And I feel bad because The only people who would believe her are folks who are just brand spanking new to this, or people who just aren't all there mentally. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, it started with the indigo child, then it turns into the crystal child, and then this next generation is the rainbow child. It's not indigo star seed, it's not crystal star seed, it's not rainbow star seed. I don't know how you get those things mixed up. It's like she just heard the phrase one day and like, oh yes, I'm a rainbow star seed, or now I guess a Pleiadian star seed. Does she even know about Pleiadians? Like seriously, can you even point to the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters? I'll give you a hint. Look for Taurus. I mean, it's so ridiculous, so very ridiculous. So, some other weird mess is her bringing up conspiracy theories. Everyone knows about the Pizzagate thing, which was just ridiculous. And why is it in here? I don't know. Like, she's again pushing this weird Satanists, they're evil, they're evil. It's like, no, no, they're not. Satanists are people. Like, stop trying to create another satanic panic. Stop it. This Pizzagate thing was nonsense. Thinking like, oh yes, it's child grooming, a sex trade or some mess like that, which it wasn't. And she goes from there to bringing up Celine Dion and the clothing brand. And forgive me because I can't really say this name, but like new 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 new, close enough. Celine new 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 sounds stupid. It's a dumb name, but she brings this up and saying, "Oh my God, I saw it, and it's demonic clothing, and it's evil and Satan, and they have crosses and skulls." I'm going to actually show you what they have on there. They do have some skulls, which it's a fashion statement, and most of them are literal skulls and crossbones. Yes, pirate skulls and crossbones. She's against pirates. Yar. There be Melinda, over exaggerating. Yar. Like, it's insane. But let's see, what does she say about this nonsense here? Yeah, Selena New in 2018. The clothing line exhibits children and adult models in satanic attire with skulls, inverted stars, and crosses. Oh, that's the other thing with the inverted stars. So the stuff that I saw with the stars, it's literally symbolizing falling stars. It's just stars going down and they're turning as they're falling. And somehow she gets inverted star. This chick is not mentally well. Like, and she just isn't. And now you guys are seeing why I don't want to really go further into a more traditional style review. Why should I? This nonsense. Like, it's nonsense. It doesn't deserve my time. It doesn't deserve your time. It just doesn't. It's stupid. And I'm sorry for going off like this. This is more of a rant than anything, but it's just so dumb. It is. Oh, they're inverted stars. Are you really this idiotic? It's literally symbolizing stars falling and they're turning, which you guys will see because I'm going to put this up here. And something else that she goes into that she knows nothing about clearly is the inverted cross. Satanism's motivation is to destabilize what it counters, and in this case, it's Christianity. Though I'm not a Christian now, I was for years and intuitively knew the inverted cross is a direct insult to Yehoshua, Jesus Christ. I mean, she's the only person I've ever seen, like, even though they're his correct names, but Yehoshua, Yeshua, Jesus Christ. I mean, you make the guy sound like he has a split personality. Just pick one name. Pick one name and stick with it. Like, honestly, you sound dumb. Like, oh yes, Yehoshua, Yeshua, Jeshua. Man, just call him the hippie with the beard or something. Just pick one. Anyway, where am I? Okay, so traditionally, Christianity's cross is pointed upright, representing the sacrifice, Jesus Christ, and for the love of humanity. As usual, Satanism took the cross and flipped it upside down, meaning the exact opposite of what Christianity stands for. Satanism embodies the desires of the flesh without apologies, which goes against all that the Christian faith upholds. Wrong. And I'm sorry, I couldn't help but think of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down.
So, but anyway, wrong. The inverted cross was not a creation of Satanism. It happened well before Satanism was even an itch in Anton LaVey's hands. The inverted cross is known as the cross of Saint Peter. Saint Peter is the one who decided to have the cross inverted when he was crucified because he didn't feel like he was worthy of being crucified in the same way Jesus was. This is why it's inverted. Satanism had nothing to do with it. It was given to Satanism much, much later on, and even then, it still has nothing to do with it. What is wrong with you? Like, why don't you research? Like, you are literally pulling stuff out of your butt, Melinda. Like, that's what I feel. It's just bending over and pulling it out your butt. Like, this is basic stuff, just basic knowledge. Why are you putting this nonsense in here? Like, I don't understand. And I'm trying to, but I can't because the more I try, the bigger of a headache I get. And the other thing that is just insanely wrong dealing with crosses is the Ankh. So let me go there real quick. The Ankh is the ancient Egyptian symbol for the sun god Ra. Anyone who wears this symbol will receive divine protection and benevolent guidance from this ancient deity, the father of all ancient Egyptian gods. Ra is also considered the primary god, often depicted as the light bringer of life and creation in the Holy Bible. He is a bright light god full of immense power, fueled by love and duality. His passion and guidance will significantly benefit one seeking spiritual warfare protection and psychic evolution. No, the freaking Ankh is not a sign of Ra. The sun disk is the sign of Ra. The eye of Ra is a sign of Ra. The Ankh is known as the key of life. It has more connection with the freaking underworld than it does Ra. It's just pharaohs, gods, normal people. They were depicted having this because it symbolizes the mortal life and the eternal life, the spiritual life, once we pass on. It has absolutely nothing to do with Ra at all. It is not his sign. And yet, here you are putting more nonsense in here. What is happening? Like, it's just, why? It makes no sense. It absolutely makes no sense. Like, no. And this book is giving people, let me calm down. The thing I don't get is this. There is some decent information in here, especially in regards to crystals and how they work and what benefits they have. The problem is, I don't think it's from her. Like, I couldn't find the source of where she got her information from, but I know it's not from her. No way. It's too organized. It makes too much sense. Sounds too right. This mess about the Ankh and the inverted cross, that's her. Completely backwards, completely wrong. And it's really upsetting. If she just took her time, actually did the research and realized like, oh, this goes against what I initially thought. I was wrong on this. Maybe I should be adaptable and change how I view things. Wouldn't be an issue. My God, she would be like top of the freaking line, but she can't do that. This proves she can't change. She can't do that. I mean, like, ugh. I mean, it's not hard to do research. It's not hard to just say, oh, this isn't right. Maybe I should reevaluate what I've been saying. but she can't do that because she's probably afraid of being wrong and looked at as a loser. And that brings me to this next point. When I read this, when I read it, it just feels like the ramblings of someone who wants to be heard and taken seriously, but they don't actually have the all the information to be heard or taken seriously about. So they just come up with some weird random stuff, just literally pulling it out from their butt. And that's the biggest issue here because it's so misleading, it's so much misinformation, and it can lead to harm. It can lead to some serious harm. And, you know, regardless of how I feel about her at this point in time, I don't think she actually wants anyone harmed or hurt. But whatever this isn't right. So, something else Melinda talks about is protection, which, again, some of it is viable, but it gets goofy. She talks about calling upon gods, and she uses, and I quote, divine deity defense. What? No one uses this terminology. What is that? But anyway, she lists various deities here. So, of course, Archangel Michael, who, I guess she has some love affair with, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Raphael, and Archangel Uriel. So, look at that. She's learned more than just Michael now. And then she goes into Ra, the Egyptian god Ra, for some reason. You would not call on him for protection. Then she says Horus. Okay, Horus is the people's champ. He's one of them, you would call. And then she really loses the plot here. Osiris, Anubis, Thoth, Isis. What? Osiris, Anubis, Thoth, Isis. Why would you call gods of the underworld and then the god of wisdom to protect you? You're in the physical realm. You're not gonna call freaking Anubis like, "Hey, Anubis, come here. I need you, buddy. Protect me from what?" I mean, what? And Osiris is busy. He's over there judging the dead. Like, what? Doesn't have time for that. Isis is just doing her magic motherly math. Like, it's ridiculous. You would not call upon them. Like, and again, it makes me think that she saw the mummy and she was like, "Ooh, I know these gods. Now let me jot them down and make up something in my mind because my wires aren't all crossed together." Then we go to Mayet. Mayet. Mayet is the god of balance and law, order, truth. You're not going to call Mayet for protection. Maybe to uncover something or just hope things balance out. But for straight up protection, no. And then we go to Hindu gods Shiva, Ganesha, Vishnu, Brahma, Parvati. She listed the Trimurti plus Ganesha. Yet again, you would not call the Trimurti for protection. It You would call one of their personas, perhaps one of their incarnations, but you're not going to call the god of destruction for protection. You're not going to call Shiva for protection. You're going to call him to clear the freaking way of obstacles. And since she mentioned Parvati, she may as well have mentioned Lakshmi and Saraswati, the consorts of Vishnu, Brahma, and Shiva. The reason for that is because in Hinduism, it's balance between masculine and feminine. So it's like, why not mention all of them? She probably doesn't even know the other consorts. I don't know. Who knows where she heard the name Parvati? I don't know. Probably watching some Hindu movie or some mess. I don't know at this point. Thing is, Melinda doesn't know what she's talking about. You, no one should listen to her at all because it's only going to cause you more harm than good. She is 150% pushing agenda. She is 150% out of her freaking mind. She is 150% a narcissist. And one of the reasons why I say that is because in this part about protection, she mentions the shield of Melinda. So she claims that she created some type of protection shield that you can use to protect yourself from evil entities. And the problem with that is this: she can't even protect herself. Every freaking book I read, it's her somehow getting sexually assaulted or raped by some entity or some mess. And it's like, come on, dude. You can't even protect yourself. And oh yes, here's the Melinda shield, like Captain America. And adding on to that, she claims to be a goddess. And straight up said, yeah, I am a goddess. Let me find that for you guys. The good thing about this symbol is it's designed as a signal for benevolent spirit guides and angels that you seek my console and ask for protection. If there were a time that my higher self wasn't there metaphysically to assist you, my spirit guides would be. Doesn't work that way. Does this mean I consider myself a goddess? Yes. Does this mean I want to be worshipped? No. BS. This shield is a shield of protection I created in the ethereal realms. We're battling some of the worst demonic threats, and it has served me well. No, it hasn't. No, it has not. Otherwise, in every single freaking book, you wouldn't be crying for Archangel Michael or getting, I don't know, felt up or made the bride of somebody. Like, gosh darn you. You know, I'm just going to say it how it is. And I understand that I'm coming off mean and just ranting, but this was the only way I can do this, and I owe you guys something. This is hot garbage. That's 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 how I feel. It's just garbage. Like I wouldn't listen to a word this woman says. Every now and then she might say something that makes sense, but then she counters it with something else. The exaggeration is just next level. The fear mongering is next level. The weird far right ideologies is, well, I guess right on point with the current political spectrum. And she's just not in her right mind. I feel for people who are first time getting into the occult or anything metaphysical or spiritual, and they come across her, because it's not going to serve them well at all, and they are tainted. I feel for people who actually take what she says seriously, because chances are you're not. I don't want to insult you. Just I'll just say this: find better role models, find other folks, and question. Like, I beg of people to question, call her out on stuff that makes no sense, because this book, it makes no sense. Like, with that said, I'm out of the Melinda business. I will not read, review, touch anything dealing with her. It's not worth it. It's a headache. I'm just repeating myself. It's not fun for me. It won't be fun for you. Well, maybe somebody will have a laugh. It's just not worth it. There are better things to do with my time, and it's better things that I can present to you that's actually filled with factual information, or at the very least, not going to be misleading to push an agenda. So, thank you guys for watching. I know this is just me ranting. I'm not going to give a score. That book doesn't deserve a score. It's trash. That's the score. Trash. Just throw it somewhere and forget about it. Use it as a stool for something. I don't know. But that's it. I know, terribly unprofessional. Sorry, but I'm I'm done. So, again, thank you guys for watching. There will be better content coming, better reviews with Melinda Kay Lyons. Man, I hope common sense hits her soon, or a psychiatrist slaps her with some type of truth serum. But yeah, bye guys.